Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there in the first place? Or maybe you were in the middle of a sentence, talking to a good friend, and suddenly a simple word just vanished from your mind. You stand there, snapping your fingers, feeling a little embarrassed, saying, "Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue." If you are over the age of 50 or 60, you have probably experienced this. And if you have mentioned it to your doctor, they likely gave you a sympathetic smile and said those exact words we all dread hearing. Well, it is just a normal part of getting older. They tell you that your brain is just slowing down. They tell you to do some crossword puzzles and get some rest. But deep down, in the quiet moments of the night, you feel a lingering sense of fear. You worry that these little memory slips are the beginning of something much worse. You worry about losing your independence, becoming a burden to your family, or slowly fading away into dementia. The brain fog feels like you are trying to think through a thick layer of mud. You wake up exhausted, you rely on coffee just to get through the morning, and by 3 in the afternoon, your mental energy is completely gone. I am here to tell you today that this is not just getting older. What you are experiencing is not a natural, inevitable decline. It is a symptom. Your brain is actively under attack, and the culprit is not your age, and it is not your genetics. The truth is, you are likely poisoning your brain every single day without even realizing it. There is a white poison sitting in your kitchen pantry right now. It is hiding in your refrigerator. It is baked into the foods you have been told your entire life are perfectly healthy. This common ingredient is quietly starving your brain cells, causing massive inflammation, and creating that terrifying brain fog. But here is the incredible news. Because this is a dietary poisoning and not a genetic death sentence, you can stop it. You can clear the fog. You can actually heal your brain, restore your sharp memory, and get your mental energy back, simply by throwing this white poison in the trash. Before we uncover exactly what this is and how to get rid of it, let me tell you about a man named Arthur. Arthur is a retired school teacher, 68 years old, and a few years ago, he was absolutely convinced he was developing Alzheimer's disease. Arthur was a smart man, but he started struggling to balance his checkbook. He would forget the names of his former students when he ran into them at the grocery store. Worst of all, he started forgetting the routes to places he had driven to for decades. Arthur did what anyone would do. He went to his doctor, he took memory tests. The doctor told him he had mild cognitive impairment, which is often the waiting room for Alzheimer's. Arthur was devastated. He thought his life was essentially over. Now, Arthur was someone who tried to take care of himself. He followed the standard health advice. He avoided butter and eggs because he was told they were bad for his heart. For breakfast, he ate a large bowl of heart-healthy bran cereal with skim milk and a glass of orange juice. For lunch, he had a turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread with low-fat mayonnaise. For a snack, he would eat a cup of fruit-on-the-bottom, low-fat yogurt. He thought he was doing everything right. But a nutritionist friend looked at Arthur's diet and immediately saw the problem. Arthur was consuming massive, toxic amounts of the white poison. His healthy diet was essentially a chemical assault on his brain. His friend challenged him to completely remove this ingredient for just 30 days. Arthur was desperate, so he did it. The first few days were miserable. He had headaches, he felt irritable, and he craved his old foods. But on day 8, something miraculous happened. Arthur woke up, and for the first time in 3 years, his mind felt clear. The heavy, muddy feeling was gone. By day 30, his memory recall was sharp. He was finishing his sentences. He navigated his town without a second thought. Arthur did not have early-onset dementia. His brain was simply drowning in toxicity. So what is this white poison? It is refined sugar. Now, before you click away thinking, "I already know sugar is bad. I don't eat candy," you need to stop and listen very closely. I am not talking about avoiding donuts, cookies, or cake. We all know those are treats. I am talking about the invisible hyper-refined sugars and high-fructose corn syrups that the food industry has secretly pumped into almost everything you eat, especially the foods labeled low-fat or heart-healthy. To understand why this is destroying your memory, we have to look at the science of the aging brain. Your brain is an absolute energy hog. It only accounts for about 2% of your body weight, but it burns through 20% of your body's energy. Your brain cells, or neurons, need a constant, steady supply of fuel to fire properly. For decades, the medical community believed that the brain's only source of fuel was glucose, which comes from carbohydrates and sugar. And while the brain does use glucose, the problem is what happens when you consume too much of the refined, processed kind. When you eat a piece of whole wheat bread, or a bowl of instant oatmeal, or a cup of low-fat yogurt, your body rapidly breaks that down into pure sugar in your bloodstream. To handle this massive spike in sugar, your pancreas pumps out a hormone called insulin. Insulin is like a key. Its job is to unlock the doors of your cells so the sugar can get inside and be used for energy. If you eat this way for years and decades, which most of us have, your body has to produce more and more insulin to handle the constant flood of sugar. Eventually, your cells get tired of the constant pounding at the door. They change their locks. They stop responding to insulin. This is a condition called insulin resistance. You might know it as the precursor to type 2 diabetes. But here is the terrifying part that your doctor likely never told you. Your brain can become insulin resistant too. Scientists are now calling Alzheimer's disease and chronic brain fog type 3 diabetes. What this means is that your brain cells have become entirely resistant to insulin. The sugar is flowing through your blood, but the keys no longer work. The doors to your brain cells remain locked shut. Think about what that actually means. Your brain is surrounded by fuel, but it cannot absorb it. Your brain cells are literally starving to death in a sea of sugar. When a neuron starves, it cannot send signals. It cannot store a memory. It cannot recall a word. It misfires. That feeling of brain fog is the physical sensation of your brain cells running out of power and shutting down to conserve energy. But starvation is only half the damage. The other half is inflammation. When you consume refined sugar and highly processed carbohydrates, it triggers a massive inflammatory response throughout your entire body. In the brain, this inflammation attacks the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the memory center of your brain. It is the exact area that shrinks and gets destroyed in dementia patients. Refined sugar also causes a process called glycation. Imagine putting a piece of bread in a toaster. It turns brown and gets hard and stiff. That is glycation. When there is too much sugar in your blood, it literally binds to the proteins and fats in your brain, caramelizing them, making them stiff and dysfunctional. These damaged proteins clump together. In the medical world, these clumps are called amyloid plaques, and they are the hallmark sign of a dying brain. You are not losing your mind to old age. Your brain is being starved, inflamed, and caramelized by the food industry. Now, I am going to reveal exactly where this white poison is hiding in your kitchen right now. I am going to give you a list of the so-called healthy foods you need to throw in the garbage today, and what you must replace them with to turn your brain's power back on. But before I give you this specific action plan, if you are finding this information eye-opening, and if you want to protect your brain, your joints, and your independence as you age, please take 1 second to hit that subscribe button below. It helps this channel reach more seniors who are being failed by the traditional medical system, and it ensures you never miss the crucial health truths we uncover here every single week. All right, let's clean out your kitchen. The food industry knows that you are looking for the word sugar on the ingredient label, so they hide it. There are over 60 different names for the white poison. They call it maltodextrin, dextrose, barley malt, agave nectar, cane juice crystals, and the absolute worst offender of all, high fructose corn syrup. Let's look at your breakfast. If you are starting your day with a bowl of cereal, even if it says bran or whole grain or heart healthy on the box, you are eating dessert. A standard bowl of healthy-looking cereal can contain the equivalent of 4 to 5 teaspoons of pure sugar. Add skim milk, which is naturally high in milk sugar called lactose, but stripped of the healthy fats that slow down digestion, and you are sending a massive shockwave of glucose straight to your brain before 8 in the morning. What about instant oatmeal? The flavored packets, maple brown sugar, apple cinnamon, are loaded with white poison. Even if you eat plain instant oats, they have been so heavily processed and milled down that your body treats them exactly like a spoonful of table sugar. They spike your blood sugar instantly, setting you up for a massive crash and severe brain fog by lunchtime. Next, go look in your refrigerator. Pull out your salad dressings. Take a look at the ketchup, the barbecue sauce, and especially the pasta sauce. A half-cup serving of standard store-bought tomato pasta sauce has more sugar in it than a chocolate chip cookie. You think you're eating a savory Italian meal, but you are pouring liquid sugar over your noodles. And let's talk about the biggest scam in the grocery store: low-fat and fat-free foods. Back in the 1980s, the health authorities told us that fat was causing heart attacks, so the food companies obediently removed the fat from yogurt, cheese, crackers, and dressings. But when you take the fat out of food, it tastes like cardboard. To make it edible, they had to replace the fat with something else. They replaced it with massive amounts of refined sugar and high-fructose corn syrup. If you have a cup of low-fat fruit yogurt in your fridge, throw it out right now. It is a chemical cocktail of sugar and artificial flavors that is actively shrinking your hippocampus. So if all of this is poison, what are you supposed to eat? How do you feed your brain and clear the fog? You have to shift your brain from running on dirty fuel to running on premium fuel. When you cut out the white poison, your brain cells might be insulin resistant, meaning they can't use sugar well anymore. But here is the biological loophole that can save your mind. Your brain does not only run on glucose. When you stop eating refined sugars and processed carbs, your body realizes the sugar supply is gone. It goes to your liver and says, "We need an alternative fuel source." Your liver then starts breaking down body fat and dietary fat into molecules called ketones. Ketones are a superfuel for the human brain. Unlike glucose, which needs insulin to unlock the door, ketones do not need insulin. They bypass the broken locks entirely. They flow straight across the blood-brain barrier, enter your starving brain cells, and turn the power back on. When seniors shift their diet and start producing ketones, the results are almost unbelievable. The fog lifts, memory recall becomes sharp, mental energy stays completely steady from morning until night, with no afternoon crashes. To make this happen, you need to replace the white poison with healthy, natural fats. Your brain is composed of nearly 60% fat. It needs fat to rebuild its structural integrity. For breakfast, throw away the cereal and the instant oatmeal. Eat eggs. The yolk of an egg is one of the most nutrient-dense brain foods on the planet. It is loaded with choline, which is a direct building block for the neurotransmitters that form memories. Cook them in real grass-fed butter. Butter is not the enemy. The sugar you ate with the butter was the enemy. For lunch, ditch the whole wheat bread that spikes your blood sugar. Have a large salad with real olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is packed with polyphenols, which are powerful antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier and scrub away the inflammation in your memory centers. Add half of an avocado. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats that support healthy blood flow, ensuring that oxygen and nutrients actually reach your brain tissue. When it comes to snacking, put down the crackers and the pretzels. Eat a handful of walnuts or pecans. They are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are the primary building blocks of your brain's cellular membranes. If you commit to this, if you aggressively throw out the white poison and replace it with these brain-healing fats, you will go through a withdrawal period. For the first 3 to 5 days, your brain will complain. You might feel a little tired or have a mild headache. This is normal. This is your body detoxing from decades of sugar addiction. But push through it. Drink plenty of water with a pinch of real sea salt to keep your electrolytes up. Because around day 7, the magic happens. The insulin levels in your blood will drop. The inflammation in your brain will cool off. Your liver will start producing those incredible ketones, and your starving brain cells will suddenly get a rush of pure, clean energy. You will wake up one morning and realize the heavy cloud is gone. You will remember the name of that actor in that movie. You will walk into a room and know exactly what you went in there for. You will feel a sense of control and mental youthfulness that you probably haven't felt in 10 or 20 years. Do not let the food industry steal your golden years. Do not accept cognitive decline as a normal part of aging. Your brain is a resilient, miraculous organ, and it desperately wants to heal itself. You just have to stop poisoning it. Go into your kitchen right now, read the labels, and throw the white poison in the trash. Your future self and your family will thank you for it. If you are serious about protecting your health as you age, the foods you eat are only the foundation. There are other hidden habits destroying our mobility and our minds. In fact, there is a massive mistake almost everyone makes with their knees that accelerates aging and joint pain. I highly recommend you watch the video on your screen right now, where we expose this daily habit and show you how to fix it immediately. Click the video and I will see you over there.